Alright guys, so I am in my office today and I was just thinking about stimulus checks. As you know, we've got a new president and the COVID relief bill has moved through Congress and we're getting ready for another round of checks. I know I'm ready for that $1,400. You probably are too. But I was really thinking about, with this new bill that's coming out, how is the disability community going to be affected? As you know, I work in disability and I have for several years now, so that's really what's always in the forefront of my thinking when I see political moves being made. How is the disability community going to be targeted, or how are they going to benefit from whatever action is being passed? So I'm going to share some information about the COVID-19 relief bill today, but before I get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So I was actually reading an article on Disabilitycoop.com, which I will link below, so make sure you check that out. And basically the article was focusing on the most important parts that are going to pertain to individuals with disabilities as far as this COVID relief bill is concerned. So the first one that was really interesting to me, and that's really good news, is that $9.3 billion is being given to Medicaid programs across the states to assist with individuals who have disabilities to basically live independently. So that is so important. As we know, if you're part of the disability community or you're an advocate, independent living is a huge component for individuals who are a part of that community. Just because you have a disability, it doesn't mean that you have to live in a group home. It doesn't mean that you have to stay somewhere where you don't want to stay. So this $9.3 billion is really going to help to make sure that community living resources are available for our disability community. Now, there was some parts of the COVID-19 relief bill that unfortunately did not make it through Congress. One of the main things, of course, we know the federal minimum wage being raised to $15, that did not make it through. And then sub-minimum wage for individuals with disabilities did also did not make it to the table. Okay, as we know, individuals with disabilities are being paid pennies on the dollar for jobs where they should be being paid the same amount as our non-disabled peers. So unfortunately, that did not make it to the table, but that doesn't mean that we need to stop emailing our senators. That doesn't mean that we need to stop emailing individuals who are in government who can help to change these laws. We want to make sure that we keep emailing them, that we're showing up to where we need to show up to make sure that our voices are heard. I know that I've emailed several senators across my state to make sure that they know how important this is. So it didn't make it through this time, but of course, I know, we're all going to keep trying to make sure that individuals with disabilities are being paid the same as their non-disabled peers. Okay, now let's get to the good part. These $1,400 checks, right? That's what we've all been waiting on. That's what we're kind of looking at the news to see, when are those checks going to drop? So if you have a disability and you make under $75,000, whether you are a dependent or not, you still are going to receive your $1,400, and that's something that has not happened before. So if you were a dependent, I don't believe that you were getting a stimulus check, but now that has changed. So that's really good news. So there's also going to be a 7.35% increase amongst home-based and community programs that's going to be through our federal government over the next year. That bump is going to help us to increase pay for our direct service professionals, which is so important because their pay is way below where it needs to be as well. It's going to help us to take individuals who are on the waiting list. As we know, waiting lists are a big part of community and home-based services. But this money is going to help to take some individuals off that waiting list, as well as increasing other services that are really needed, especially right now during COVID-19. There's so many individuals who are still suffering based on the pandemic and not being able to get out and do the things that they were able to do before. But this federal bump is going to help to combat some of that. So you're probably wondering, when are we going to see all of this and when is this going to be into effect? So it's still working its way up to our president right now. So I can't give you any clear dates on that. I do know as far as the stimulus checks that they are trying to have that done before March 14th, because that is when the unemployment benefits are going to expire. So that kind of gives you a ballpark as far as when the stimulus checks will be out. However, I plan to update you with any legislation that is regarding the disability community as I hear about it, so you don't have to worry about that. I also do a write-up on my blog, dugandiggsdisability.org, so be sure to check that out. Drop down in the comments, let me know if there was anything that I missed, or if there's anything that you want to hear more information about regarding this new bill that's making its way through right now. And I'll see you on Saturday for another Adult Daily Living Skills video. Bye.